All right, good morning, everybody. I'd like to call the meeting of the Bethlehem IDA to order. Noting that we have a quorum present, we can move on to the first item on the agenda, which is the minutes from the meeting on July 22nd. Are there any modifications or changes to the minutes? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the July 22nd meeting?
So moved.
All right, so that was Dave, and who was the second?
That was Tim Minicha for moving. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, so I got a mover and I got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? And I want to say I watched all 1 hour and 18 minutes of the meeting from the 22nd. And Victoria, thank you so much for taking over as the person running the meeting, and everybody else for all of the commentary on the program, the grant program. It was fascinating watching it, just fascinating. So I really enjoyed it. So thank you so much for all the work you guys did last month. The next item on the agenda is the reports of committees. There were no committee meetings, so there are no reports. We move down to communications. Tom, we got the memo from ESD.
Yes, asking the agency to report whether its allocation of private activity bond volume cap, which was 614,000, will be used by the end of the year. And I reported back to the department that we didn't have a viable project and that the initial allocation can be reallocated to other projects.
Okay. Any questions from anybody on that? Okay, thank you. Let's move to planning board update. Rob, is it very long?
It's not long, but we can wait because we have some time, constraints here. So
okay, so let's move down to under new business. The most important thing today is to talk about the COVID-19 grant program. So let's move down into that and move that forward, hopefully.
Okay, so at the July meeting, the board made revisions to the policy, the application, and the agreement, all those revisions have been made to the documents. I think the documents are ready to be approved. There is a proposed resolution at packet page 22.
So are there any issues with the changes that got made to, first of all, let's do the policy right here. Any modifications or changes there? Okay. The next item is the grant application. Any modifications or changes to that? Hearing none. How about the grant agreement? Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so let's move back up to the resolution. So there's a resolution in the package that basically moves us toward administering the program. Are there any questions or any other commentary on the resolution? All right. So hearing that, can I get a motion to approve the resolution with regard to the COVID-19 small business program that the Bethlehem IDA will administer going forward?
So moved.
Before we do that, can I just have one quick question?
Okay.
Maybe you can explain
The legislation that was passed really focuses to a large extent on the loan program and not so much on the grant program. Can you just explain what our obligations are under the grant program? I didn't see anything, and maybe I just missed it. It talks about what kind of records we have to maintain and file with the ABO and all that. It's very explicit in terms of the loan program, but do we have any administrative responsibilities associated with the grant program?
Well, yes, we have to report each year in our Paris report. I'm now looking for it.
Probably in the ABO.
Let's see, ABO. So in the ABO guidance, and this is where these requirements are found, there is a requirement that eligible entities provide financials, that we have to provide in the agreement for recapture, which we've done.
Yeah, there's one other place we have to provide the amount of the grant and all the rest. Okay.
And we have to report in the Paris report each year the name and address of each grant recipient, the amount of the grant, the date of the grant, the specific use of the grant. Those are the all of our responsibilities.
So the Paris system will be amended or revised to include this information.
Yes, it's already been revised. There's an Excel spreadsheet that ABO tells us is going to be part of the Paris report.
Okay. So that is an ABO requirement more than it appears to be a statutory requirement.
Yes, it's definitely an ABO requirement.
Okay.
Right, it's in the ABO memo that I.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. I just did not see it in the statute. So.
Okay. So, Dave, you okay? You're good?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just want to make sure that we're clear on that.
Yep, that's okay. All right, and going back to the resolution. So I think I had somebody move it.
I did it. I moved it, but I thought Victoria just sent a note. She wants to have a question before we move it.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I have no changes. As you know, I've been in support of this. But what I'd like to share with the other members is that we have all worked very hard to strike a balance between the legal and the regulatory requirements and our understanding of the needs and basic environment of small businesses, particularly since we're targeting businesses that are struggling. So while I am in favor of all of this and I plan to vote to pass the resolution and implement the program, I do believe that it's important for us to be open to feedback from our small businesses if they have, suggestions for the application or something like that. I would like to hear that if there's an idea that can help us serve them better.
Okay, so are you saying we're going to float it out there, or we're going to just take suggestions as they fill out the application and submit it?
The latter. I certainly don't want another round of approval, but
Right.
I think it's important that if somebody comes to us and says, I really, really want to do this, I think it's a great program, but I have this challenge. I know that everyone here will listen and evaluate, and it may be that at some point we revise. And really that's all, is to be aware that we are doing our best. It might not be perfect, and to be open to adapting as needed to help the businesses.
This is Tom. I will report any suggestions by the business community.
That's wonderful.
Yep.
That's great. Thank you.
Okay, so I think it was Dick Kotlow that moved it. And can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Victoria. I appreciate that. All those in favor of the resolution approving the COVID-19 small business program for the town of Bethlehem IDA, vote yes or no. Aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Anybody abstain? All right. Thank you very much. And thanks again for all the work you did last month, because that really, really facilitated us moving this forward today. So I really appreciate it.
If I could, when do we launch it?
Well, today or tomorrow?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
No, okay.
We've got-
Okay, that's all you have to say. Expediency. Great. Perfect.
And Tom, I think you'll work with Rob on how to get it out there to the community and so on, so that it's out to the business community as soon as possible, so we can start this moving forward. And hopefully we get a lot of applications that meet the criteria to get reimbursement for their spending. Thank you.
Have we had a lot of interest expressed today? Have businesses come to us or to the town?
No, but it hasn't been advertised yet.
No, but there's been a little bit in the paper and stuff. But I mean, what is our anticipated, or do we have any anticipated need out there?
We did put a featured news item on the town website after the last meeting, just introducing or notifying, hey, the IDA is developing this, stay tuned. And my office did receive a few calls, maybe, half a dozen calls about, how do I apply? And I had to tell them we're still developing it, but wait till the end of August. So what we'll do is we'll revise that featured news item. I think we'll also put a news item together for the IDA website. The town's website pushes information to social media. And so we are aware that many businesses in town do, whether it's Facebook or Twitter, do subscribe to our social media. And the town also has a long email list of businesses through various other projects that we can push this information to get the word out, along with the Bethlehem Chamber of Commerce. I've been keeping Maureen at the Chamber aware, and so we'll certainly give her the info and ask that she share it with her members.
Yeah,
Okay, so there'll be some kind of almost like press release that you would put out on various websites?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, she could do a special memo because I get her updates all the time, and she probably would do a special one for this because I think it's so important to the businesses in the town. All right, let's move on to planning board update.
Okay, so planning board update, two projects that I've been speaking about over the past few months, both Diversified Auto on Creville Road. If you recall, this is essentially a relocation of an existing business in town to a new headquarters facility in town on Creville Road, about 35,000 square feet. We've been meeting with the owners and engineer on the design plans. We continue to fine tune some of the aspects of the design. And that project still remains under planning board review, but I do expect in the next month or so to have them return to the board. Also 1381 River Road. This is the Burt Crane facility on River Road over by the thruway. This is another 30,000 square foot facility. We've met with their project engineers along with the owners last week to do some final engineering design items on that project. And again, also expect that to return to the board in the next month or so. So those projects to continue to move forward. Those owners are still interested in moving ahead with locating in town. So planning department and the board continue to review those applications.
Rob?
Yes.
So the Burt Crane project is alive again?
It is. I mean, it was never.
Yeah, I understand, but it kind of went dormant for a while.
For a little bit, and I wouldn't say, maybe for a little bit, but they've always had interest and they continue their interest. I think there was a lull probably in March or April with the pandemic hitting, but since then we've been in communication with them.
So are they going to move forward with the IDA application for assistance? Is that what you understand?
That is my understanding. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that is my understanding. They have not expressed to me any desire not to. I can reach out specifically on that topic, or Tom and I can reach out specifically on that topic. But I know they're still interested. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I just thought in just past meetings that there had been no communication, and I thought perhaps the project was going to be, seriously delayed. But okay, it's great. That's great news to hear that that's going to move forward.
Yeah, Tom, we can connect after this and reach out to Bridget or Tom at Burt Crane.
I'm not surprised that it was moving forward, but it's certainly slowed way down.
Yeah.
It's understandable because of the economic, upset that's taken place in the last 9 months, 8 months.
And I believe there are some open items and requests that we had of Burt Crane way back in February, probably, or maybe early March. I can't remember exactly when, but there were some open items that we were looking for. So we've got to revisit that.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Have they changed their fundamental expectation, Rob, or is it still the same plan as originally presented to us months ago? They're not looking to downsize or do anything substantially different than?
That's correct. They are not looking to make, there's no changes since they last presented to you. Same facility location, same size, same type of operations.
Okay.
Does this affect the allocation memo that we?
No,
Okay.
they weren't seeking private activity bonds.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, Rob, keep going.
Yeah, no worries. Just feel free to chime in. So moving on to economic development, the town board at its August 15th meeting approved the consultant for the comprehensive plan update. The interviews and the selections process did take a little bit longer than we had expected, but we're thankful to be where we are now with selecting the consultants. The committee, the comprehensive plan update committee, is meeting on September 10th to have a kickoff meeting with the consultant. This is a team SWBR with a few other sub-consultants as team members. The initial task will be with the committee to outline a community engagement plan. And we had some conversations with the IDA in the past about reaching out to the economic development community, whether it's developers or business owners and realtors, really to talk through Bethlehem and economic development. And I do expect those types of stakeholders to be included in the community engagement plan as we discuss that with the committee on the 10th. So some good information to share there. Any questions on that item? Okay, moving ahead. The Albany County held a meeting last week. Tom and I attended. Victoria, I'm not sure, did you attend as well? On the offshore wind?
Yes, I did.
Okay, yeah, so Victoria was there as well. They held a Zoom call on opportunities for offshore wind in New York and the Capital Region. The Center for Economic Growth presented on New York's offshore wind plans. I'm not sure if most of you know, but New York has an overall clean energy goal and commitment to 100% clean power by 2040. And this creates a need for 70% renewable by 2035. There's an expectation that there will be an installation of 9,000 megawatts of clean energy by 2035. And in order to do that, wind energy development is a major element to achieve that goal. And so Center for Economic Growth went through a detailed assessment and summary of what needs to be done, how New York is moving ahead with locations and plans across the state. Both the Port of Albany and the Port of Queens were identified as viable sites, particularly with their location on the Hudson River, using the maritime access for transportation down the Hudson out to the East Coast, where potential wind energy component, where potential wind energy facilities would be located, and they really identified a big need for manufacturing of a lot of the components associated with wind energy. So these suppliers include those companies creating the blades or the towers, the foundations, and even the cables associated with how the wind development, how wind energy works. So it was a good information piece. It ties in nicely with what I've been working with, or connects nicely and is consistent with what the planning board has been reviewing for the Port of Albany site, the 80-acre site in Bethlehem. And so Albany County believes this is going to be a major industry in the next coming years. And it's good for Albany County to see two ports in the mix, and particularly for Bethlehem, the Port of Albany site in town. So some good information to share there, and I'll keep the board posted as we as we start to see any new developments or proposals from tenants.
All right. Any questions? That's good news, Rob. That's great news.
In connection with that, I reached out to Dave Rooney. Dave Rooney is a consultant to CEG on the offshore wind project. And I sent him the material from the Bethlehem IDA, the Uniform Tax Exemption Policy application, filled him in on our processes, talked to him a couple of times and told him that we're very interested in participating, providing financial assistance.
Great. That's very good. All right. Let's move to the financial statements. Al, we won't put you right away at the end today.
That's okay. The financial statements are in your packet for the month of July 31st, 2020. Statement of net assets. Our cash account is $255,515.14. Trustco, our CD is $201,450. Other current assets, we have a fee receivable of $10,204.21. That's the most recent quarter of the PSEG reimbursement for the months of May, June, and July. And prepaid expenses of $1325.84, giving us total other current assets of $11,530.05 and total assets of $468,495.19. Current liabilities, accrued expenses, monies due to the town of $35,116.39, and leaving us with net assets of $433,378.80. Our statement of revenue and expenses through July 31st, 2020. Fee income, $17,743.35. Our PSEG energy reimbursement is $21,439.80, giving us total income of $39,183.15. Expenses, salaries and wages, $24,619.04. Contractual expenses, $43,134.68. Employee benefits of $54,44.52. Giving us total expenses of $73,198.24. Year-to-date deficit of $34,015.09. After interest income, it's $32,471.68. Deficit. When we compare the actual to the budget, our fee income, of course, is still ahead of budget because the way we booked the income all in the month of January for the annual fees. Our PSEG energy reimbursement is within budget now with the revised changes we made based on their reporting to us. So our total income is actually ahead of budget, and salaries and wages are online. Contractual expenses, employee benefits, those will wash out at the end of the year. The total year to date, we're in line with the revised budget that we did.
Any questions for Al? Thanks, Al.
And I have a general question. I'm just preparing the 2021 budget. And I'm going to use a lot of the assumptions that we just did in our revision, but I think sounds like I could be safe in putting in our potential one closing that we normally put in our budgets. Every other year we've always assumed we'd have one closing of a certain size, and I'm getting a better feeling now that maybe I can do that again for 2021.
Yeah. I mean, when we take a look at it, the finance committee will, talk about that and make a decision as to whether or not to leave it in there. But for now, the preliminary budget, I think you should do that.
Great.
Thanks, Al.
Okay.
The next item on the agenda is the administrative services agreement. I think we talked about this way back January, February, and then with the pandemic, it kind of went underground for a little while. But we've got to get this approved. Tom, is there any commentary you want to make on this?
Well, this is our standard agreement that we've used for the last 12 or 15 years. All the significant information is on the last page, Exhibit A, packet page 37. All that information has been negotiated with the town, documented in our 2020 budget, and it's, in fact, has been implemented in our payments to the town. What we need is to approve this agreement so that chairman can sign it.
Any questions about the administrative services agreement? So can I get a motion to approve the administrative services agreement for 2020?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
So I didn't get the movement and the second.
Who was the mover? Dick Kotlow was the mover?
No,
Oh, sorry. Tim
this is
Minichia?
right.
Yes.
Okay. And then who was the second? I think it was simultaneous.
Yeah, pick somebody. Yeah,
We'll pick Victoria.
that's fine. Who's out again?
Okay, we got it moved. We got it seconded. Could I get a vote to approve the administrative services contract for 2020? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Anybody abstain? All right, thank you. Any other new business?
The only thing I would ask is, Tom, can you just walk us through how you would anticipate the grant program working? I assume if this information becomes public in the next week, that we could begin receiving applications prior to our next meeting, and how that's going to work in terms of us getting information on that, reviewing them, approving those grants?
Yes, this is what I anticipate. First, we have to post these documents on our website, and that will be done today or tomorrow. Then we have to, do some advertising, such as described by earlier. And then I assume we'll start getting applications. So I've talked to Kate and Dick because they were part of committee that reviewed micro enterprise grants. And I thought that Kate, Dick, Rob, and myself would review the applications. I've developed a checklist of, there are about 12 requirements for a business to get a grant. And between the four of us, we will review the applications to make sure they're complete. And we will present them to you at the next meeting, because the board is the group. The board has to formally approve the grants. So I would present to you the application, probably the checklist, any comments that we have, and a proposed resolution approving the grants, assuming the members agree.
And that would be in the packet of information that goes out to us
Yes.
Prior to the meeting.
Yeah, well, the only trouble is
I know.
how far ahead do we? I usually send that out a week ahead so everybody has plenty of time to review the packet, has the weekend to review it if they're busy during the week. This meeting, because of vacations, we sent it out 2 weeks ahead of time. Anyway, I'll be playing with that to try to make sure that we have, everything as up to date as we can have it. We don't want a grant sitting there for
Right.
6 weeks if we can help it.
Right. So what may happen is it will go out in the packet in time for the meeting, which the next meeting is Friday, September 25th. And in that interim week period between when the packet goes out, we may get more applications that may have to be decided upon at the meeting. So you may not have a lot of time to review the information.
No,
That's correct. Robin can add, once you send out the packet, she can revise the packet and you'll get a little notice that the packet is revised. So you're going to have to go to it to get the information.
But shouldn't,
what I can recommend is, and this, I've had to deal with some clients. We need to put a deadline in there for this month's board meeting. So all applications need to be in by X date. If it comes in after that, it'll have to go on the next board meeting cycle. And I mean, quite frankly, they're very small grants, so I don't know that, it's going to be like, oh, I need the money ASAP. So I would just say we should put a deadline in there for at least a week. Well, leave the period open maybe 2 weeks from now, and then we're going to need time to review it. And then we need a week to get it out to the board, because otherwise you're going to keep updating things and it's going to be a mess by the time it gets to the board. If, we're trying to cram everything in.
Well, let's let Tom and Rob figure out how they want to deal with it. And then maybe, Tom, you could send us an email that says, okay, this is how we're going to do it.
can I make?
Sure.
I think, that the information distributed to the board should not be all the information reviewed by the committee. I think it should be a summary. I don't think, maybe some of the information is public information if somebody wants to get it, but I don't think that all the details behind the application need to be distributed on an open agenda item.
Agreed. And I think
I think
go ahead, Tom. Sorry.
There are requirements. I think we have to post the application and we have to post the board's action on it.
But we don't have to, the application is one thing, but what about all the financial data behind it, if there is any?
I don't know. I think it's a gray area. So
we don't need an answer today.
Tom, let's work that out, okay?
May I suggest, as you're working it out, consider posting information redacted, which is permitted for confidential business information. That was made very clear. But it may be best to post only the applications and information for grants that have been awarded. I think our small businesses would appreciate not having made public if for some reason they missed a deadline or there was some other reason for not being awarded the grant. I don't believe that we need to record every application received on our website. So consider that when you're reviewing.
Yep.
I don't know about that, but I'll check it. Because it's all subject to FOIL, and there's very little that can be redacted under FOIL too. But we don't have to publicize it.
Right.
Okay, the ABO guidance says that funding may only be provided to eligible entities by completing an application which should be conspicuously posted on the IDA website.
And maybe.
So anyway, let us figure it out. But we also have to create a procedure that we can function in.
Right.
In a timely way. And, going through a financial statement, redacting, it seems like it might be difficult to do. I don't know. I haven't done it before. But I think we will have our hands full reviewing. If we get 50 or 40 or 30 applications, we're going to have our hands full going through them, documenting that the 12 requirements have in fact been met, and approving it so that it can be sent to the board at the next meeting.
And that's why I am really suggesting a deadline, because we're going to drive ourselves nuts You know, we can do another cycle, you know, next month, but if you don't impose that, it's going to be a little bit, you know,
Well,
crazy.
I assume the cycle is going to be ongoing. We're not going to end it in
Right.
1 month or two. I mean, it's so far as I know, it's open until the conclusion of the emergency.
Right.
They run out of money.
But for
Depending-
purposes of getting it to the committee, to the board, on the board cycle is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to be, you know, we got 2 days to the board meeting. Here's 5 more. Like you got to cut it off, and then they get pushed to the next, you know, cycle that we do.
I think Kate, jumping on what you're saying, if the IDA meets on the 4th Friday going forward now of each month, we just work backwards and say, okay, what's our buffer time to get the information to the board? And then we set a deadline of maybe the 2nd Wednesday of each month. And I'm just throwing that out there, you know, hypothetically. But we just set a day each month as the deadline until the money, is awarded.
Remember, this is a reimbursement, so time really isn't of the essence. The funding may be.
So let's let Tom and Rob work it out, and then you
Sure.
can communicate that to us in an email, and we can move forward. Dave, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Maybe one other sentence in a news release or something is the grants will be awarded at the next regularly scheduled board meeting, or at regularly scheduled board meeting. So at least the businesses know when they apply what our time frame would be for turning that around in terms of a vote too. So they don't send something in the beginning of the month and then wonder 3 weeks later why they haven't heard back from us yet. So some notification to them as to when our decision process will be concluded.
Okay.
And you could also include that the grants will continue to be accepted as long as funding is available.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Any other issues? Any other new business? Hearing none. A reminder, our next regular meeting is Friday, September 25th. Hopefully we'll have a fair number of applications in that we'll have to review. So if you've got a hard stop at any point in time, maybe now's the time to think about moving that back a half an hour or something like that for that meeting, because we got to make sure we have a quorum to approve the distribution of those grants. And hopefully we can get through them in the time that we have. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. So Dick moved it, and Dave, I think you were the second. All
Well,
in
that's-
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, thanks. And thanks again for the work that you did last month. I really appreciate it.
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good day.
Good day all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.